Hello, and welcome back to the Stationeer. Today, I wanted to go over this set that I got. It's an art set, but is 22 degrees, or effectively 22 types of pencil hardnesses, pencil leads. Lately, I've been getting into pencils. I've always been a fountain pen person. These are my primary writing tools. Can I center? Ones that I've always used for years and years and years, but I got these about 2 years ago, and I've gone through the whole box. This is my last one. I've saved it for this one. These Blackwing Mattes. And then to refill, because it's my last one, I got these Blackwing 602s. There we go. These Blackwing 602s. And what I didn't realize was this was about on the pencil lead spectrum. I don't know if 10 is the highest or lowest it goes. I'm assuming it stops around 10. 10B to 10H, where B is black, so it's softer lead. Where H is hard, and it's a little harder lead. It's lighter though, hence the B being called black. And it lasts much longer, so your point lasts much longer. I didn't know that. I didn't know any of this when I bought these Blackwings originally. I think these mats fall around 2B. So around the 2B. And they're nice to write with, but they dull pretty quickly, and I like the color. These Blackwing 602s, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a huge pencil person, so I don't know for sure. I'm just getting into it. I think they fall around an H or a 2H, if what I read online was about correct. I don't think Blackwing actually comes out. I think they use their own formulas and whatnot. So yes, I've used these two, and obviously your normal like Ticonderoga are going to fall around, I think our HBs is like normal, standard pencils. So I wanted to try all 20 or 22, I guess, hardnesses and see which one I like the most. I think anything outside of probably 2B to 2H is more for artists, and this is an art set. I'm not an artist. I don't doodle. I don't draw. Very occasionally, maybe, but mostly I'm just taking notes, writing, doing stuff like that. But I wanted to see still because I've never actually seen all these or felt written with them. I do have a Blackwing sharpener. I'm really bad at centering this. I'm sorry. Which is a very expensive sharpener, but very, very nice. The points this thing puts is absolutely amazing. It's the best sharpener I've ever owned. And I haven't owned any. You're looking at the totality of my sharpener collection outside of like ones you pick up at a dollar store, which I think work fine. Of course, they work for everyone. But I was a little scared of using this one just because of how expensive it is on all of these. Because I don't know. I think these are probably meant for Blackwings lead harnesses, which are within the middle range. So I don't know if this will dull or chip or something with like the 10H, the very hard, or the 10B might gunk it up or something with the very soft. So I got this Coom, I'm assuming is how it's said. Sorry, ignore that. That was me getting a notification on my watch. This Coom sharpener for $6, and I just want to try. I heard it had good reviews, and so I'm gonna go through. And these high unis are apparently very nice pencils. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk about was fountain pens. To get into high-end fountain pens, I mean, it depends. Everyone, once again, horrible at centering on the camera. They can cost a lot. I got this secondhand for about $100. My Pilot Vanishing Points cost me almost $200. My Lamy 2000, it's probably the most expensive pen I own at about $220. And of course, you don't need to get a gold pen. A Lamy Safari will cost you about $20, right? These quote unquote nicer pencils, or what I think are nicer pencils, cut to a pencil come out to about less than $3 each, which is nice. It's nice to try. I got this whole thing for less than, I'd say, a Lamy Safari and a bottle of ink to test out I'm assuming almost every pencil lead hardness. So let's open this up, and it is, even just if you're not into pencils, this is beautiful to look at. This is a great set. Oh no, Sorry, I was having some focusing issues, but these are a great looking set. Um, as you can see, still not wanting to focus too well, but goes all the way from 10B to 10H. And HB is like hard black. Like I said, H is hard, B is black, obviously. I don't know what F means. It's middle of the pack, so I don't know what it means. So what I plan on doing is going through and sharpening each of these right now, and then I'll get to writing with them and see how they write. So let's get into it. Okay, so definitely user error on some of these pencils for this Cume pencil sharpener, because you can see on here like there's some dull points, and up here I really struggled with these ones, and that was, of course, I had never used this pencil sharpener. I just got into it blind, so I got outsmarted by this pencil sharpener a few times, I think. I do notice that it made great points on these middle ranges, and then I had to I got some good points down here, but like these ones I was trying to sharpen up and they were just not sharpening. So probably user error, but maybe also pencil hardness. Another thing I didn't notice, because I didn't do any kind of inspection beforehand of any of these pencils, so let's take one. I mean, they look amazing. This red color is beautiful, and they don't have erasers. I think they make ones with erasers, but again, this is an art set, so I do have some erasers. Another thing that I wanted to test is just how each erases. But yeah, another thing I noticed while sharpening is this lead. Oh, the core is much smaller up here than down here. This 10B is almost one of those like wax pens that you like pull the string and more wax comes out effectively. It's a huge core. So cool. They're all sharpened. I wish I had a bigger working area. Let's move some of this stuff. Yes, I can. Okay. I'm not going to provide commentary for each one, mostly the big ones, and because I assume to my hand, a 10H is not going to feel that much different than a 9H, and all the way down the line. So I will get to writing, and as these big ones happen, I will, say things here or there. So the 10H should be very faint. I can't really see what I'm doing. Very scratchy. Okay, you can barely even see that. So what is it? Let's just Mitsu Bishi uni, technically the high uni, right? Let's do some X's. And this is 10H. It's like writing with a needle. Like it, and I mean the lead. I did not sharpen this one great. It hasn't gone down at all. You can hardly see it. See if I can change this light. I mean, that's just how faint it is. Let's see if I get closer to the camera. But yeah, that is faint. Very faint, very scratchy. It's like writing with what I imagine a quill would write like, even though I've heard those were kind of soft to write with. There he goes. You can barely see it. I did want to, before I put it back for good, I did want to make some marks that you can hardly see. And I think erasers are also marked for the middle ones, so. But actually, it's coming up quite good. Again, you can't see it that much. It's so faint. The lines are definitely there. It makes scratches in the paper more than it leaves marks. So I erased it, but you can definitely see where I still wrote. And it's so dark that it's actually kind of hard to show on camera. Okay. I will probably come back to do some more commentary around 5. But let's keep writing. I'm at the 5H, and you can definitely see it is getting darker. It's a little smoother. It's slowly getting smoother to write with. I will say this is not the most scientific test because it also depends on each point, right? Some of these, this is flat. Some of these I sharpened way better than others, and that's mostly on my bad, but you can see the darkness coming in, and it is scratchy. Let's do the eraser test for the 5 here. So as you can see, I changed the light a few times during that. You can kind of see faint, where the 10H didn't really erase at all. The marks on the page are still there. I'm trying to find. It's just so faint. It's so faint. But the 5H is erasing better. Much better. Starting to erase more like a normal pencil. You can still kind of see some impression of it right there, but it erased. So let's keep going. The 2H, which is 2H. Come on now. Okay, there we go. Roughly comparable to the Blackwing 602, I believe. Could be wrong. Oops, dropped it everywhere. And these are markedly less scratchy. These are around 4H. I noticed it. Very nice to write with. If you like pencils, of course, which I do. Man, that is very nice to write with. I like that darkness. That's the darkness I like. All right, the F. I don't quite know what the F means, but it writes very nice. If anyone knows what F means, please let me know. It's starting to feel like a normal pencil. This was like scratching the paper with a scalpel, and these have been feeling like normal pencils. So this is the HB. This is already almost at pen territory. That felt like writing with like a ballpoint pen. And look at that color. Even between the HB and the B, it is so much blacker. Even then, I could feel the tip on this 2B wearing down, but same very smoothly. Let's do the eraser test. It erases pretty good still. I mean, it's the 2B. It's pretty close to like a normal, and it's erasing fairly good. Okay, you can hardly see up here these 10Bs, and that's how it looks on my page too. That's not. I know I keep messing with the light because I'm not someone who is knowledgeable about such things, but yes, that is very hard to see. I probably should have done it up, so that would have been smarter. But oh well. 3B. My form factors changed. I was doing the dash, and then I forgot the dash. But look, it's so smooth, but it wears down pretty quickly. I'm obviously not doing too much writing, a few words, a little scribbles, and I can tell it's wearing down, but it's so smooth and it's getting darker and darker. Oh, while we're at it, let's do a little. It's so much easier to color with now, too, like not color with, but fill with. So let's do some of these. If I felt like if I did that on the 10, it would have ripped my paper. Okay, so we have the reverse issue coming. Not too bad. but starting to leave almost like an ink stain, like a stain on the paper. Whereas this is leaving marks, like physical cuts in the paper. This is leaving a stain almost. Look, just look at that color difference. It's crazy. Okay. Sure that everything's still visible. And continue. All right, the 8B. Man, this thing is like a marker, like a Sharpie almost. Let's do some shading real quick. And let's see how this erases with the same eraser. Oh my gosh. You can erase it, but it's mostly, you have to really put some pressure down there to actually erase it. Mostly just smears. Wow. Yeah, and it's leaving more of that staining that I was talking about before. Let's do the 9B. And like I said, these are more grease pens at this point. Pencils, whatever those things are called. Okay, and last but not least, this thing's effectively a grease pencil. Okay, there we go. I found a sharp edge. And let's do some erasing. Look how dark that is, though. That is effectively just black. It's like a black colored pencil. Get my pencil, my eraser. Yeah, that thing does not want to erase. It just smudges. It is effectively a grease pencil. So yeah, that was all 22 of these. And look at that as you go down the line. Very scratchy, writing with like a surgeon's scalpel, and pretty much writing with a grease pencil. I definitely can see why people fall in between these, my two fingers right here, up this way and that way. Oh, I forgot the B on the last few. That's going to bother me. But yeah, there. Look, this color is incredible. I didn't realize it was almost purely black. All that sharpening kind of hurt my thumb, but very fun. We can do like a comparison on where a sharpened Blackwing 602 is. A Blackwing 602. Now these, I would say the Blackwing Matte, color-wise, is up here, but writes more like a 2B. Blackwing 602, I would say, is more of a B than a 2H like I originally claimed. I don't know. I also just wrote a bunch, and my thumb is starting to like blister. If I was smart, I would have brought like a normal Ticonderoga, normal pencil. I might have one. Hold on. Okay, I do not. So yeah, this is, you can barely see these writings, and I promise that's not because of the light. I'm trying to show you it is just that dull. Not dull, faint. Now, at the end of the day, I think people who would use some of these are anywhere probably between these two lines up and down are artists. But I wanted to try something new and show something that I haven't seen, which is this. And I know, again, my lighting, I'm not very good at it, but hopefully you can kind of see the difference. All right. Let me know what you thought in the comments if, if you're a pencil user, what you like to use. And if you're a fountain pen user, consider maybe picking up something different, trying it out for a change. Thank you again, and I hope you have a good one.